Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Winston. Today I'm going to talk about a very sensitive issue between China and India in the 1962. Actually, I know if I talk about this very sensitive issue, it's going to be a great challenge for me. Because both of the side, China and India, we are very emotional about this issue. But I'm still ready to take this challenge because I believe if you click in this video, this means actually you are very special. You are special because you are willing to listen what the Chinese talking about the war between China and India in the 1962. This means you have a creative way of thinking. You can always switch your perspective and understand the opinion even you disagree with. And you can treat the opinion you disagree with as a reference and find some parts you agree with. This is really smart, and this is the true wisdom. And this is the reason why I'm willing to talk about the war between China and India in the 1962, even I'm a Chinese. Okay, so let's begin. Firstly, what is the difference between China and India when you talk about the war in the 1962? From the India perspective, the narrative should be like that. Since China and Tibet, they are two separate countries, and the CCP sent troops to Tibet and occupied Tibet. So China invaded Tibet, and this is the reason why China and India's border issue began. Because before China invaded Tibet, China and India should have just even 1 inch of land of border. And China and India should not have any border issue because we are not neighbor. And secondly, there's another narrative from the Indian media is that the India may think the China try to invade the India, and they try to punish the India and treat the India as their challenger in the Asia. I have to say, you can hold your opinion, but what I'm going to say could be very good reference for you, and you can hold your opinion and also listen what I'm going to say. And also I want to tell you is that everything I said actually is already proved and believed by Indian scholars. So I'm going to put a link in the bottom of my video, and you will see this Indian scholars talk about exactly the same issue. Firstly, China invaded Tibet. China really invaded Tibet. I want to give you some information about this. Maybe what you believe have you basement, but what I'm going to tell you is that actually there is thousands years of connection between the Tibet and the middle plain of China. The Tibet and the middle plain of China, maybe their language and their costume are not so consistent, but you should know China is a diversity of a country. And the connection between the Tibet and the middle plain of China, maybe the difference is huger than the Beijing and Shanghai, but they are still pretty consistent. Let me give you an example. We all know that Buddhism actually was born in the South Asia continent, and actually the place that Buddhism was born is pretty near the distributed land between China and India. And since the Buddhism was born, it spread to the Middle Asia, from the Middle Asia to the western region of China, from the western region of China to the middle plain of China. And from the middle plain of China, it spread to the Tibet in 1,300 years ago. But why the Buddhism don't just spread from the South Asia to the Tibet directly? The reason actually is pretty simple, because for the Asian people, it's very hard for them to cross Himalayas. It's a great challenge for them, and this stopped the distribution of Buddhism. And also, what I want to tell you is that we all know the PLA came to the Tibet in the 1950s. And some Indians believe this began China really occupied and invaded Tibet. But what I want to tell you is that before the CCP came to the Tibet, actually the Tibet already be part of China. Well, maybe I can be more exactly, it's like that. The Tibet was part of Qing Empire, and it's also part of the Yuan Empire. And the Tibet accepted ruling from the middle plain of China for so many times. So it's very hard for you to consider the Tibet and the middle plain of China as two separate countries. Maybe you still disagree with me, but I believe what I'm going to say at least can be a very good reference for you. Secondly, what I'm going to say is about the China invaded India. I want to say, actually, maybe hard for you to believe, but China actually didn't want to invade India. And China even didn't want to fight with India before the 1962. And this could be proved by the Indian politician Dr. Swami. He's a well-respected and very well-educated scholar. I think at least what he's going to say can be a very good reference for you. So, China didn't want to fight with India before 1962, but finally India and China go to the war. Why? There's so many reasons could explain this. One reason people believe is because of the Nehru's mistake. Because Nehru always gives China a misunderstanding about the request at the very beginning, and this makes China believe actually they can negotiate this land. But finally, Chinese find they cannot have any negotiation at this distributed land. Also, okay, China began to be very furious and try to take the war with India. This is one explanation. But what I'm going to tell you is from the Chinese perspective. You may never heard from the Indian media. The story is like that. The China think we actually gave the Indian face for so many times. When you send the troops to occupy the distributed land, we didn't fight with you. We just retreat. But actually, it doesn't mean we cannot fight with you. But we didn't fight with you because this is our culture. When we try to cooperate with our friends, we must give them face. And the best way to give the people face is not just say something nice. The best way is actually give you the real benefits. This is, we didn't fight with you and we keep distance from with you. But in the China's narratives, that's what we believe. No matter how many times we give the Indian face, the Indian never gives the face back to China. And since like they always keep pushing, and finally the Mao began to believe that maybe what the Nehru tried to get is not just the distributed land. They try to get the whole Tibet. And this is become the most serious issue for the Mao. And this makes Mao believe that if we don't fight with India, actually we will never have the peace. Okay, so because we actually defend us, we actually only want to protect our own benefits. We don't want to invade you. So our fighting with you actually has justice. So we must fight with you. This is how the Chinese people explain the war in 1962. I personally actually agree with. But you don't need to agree with me, but at least consider this. Especially this is told by the Indian scholars, not just me. I believe it can be a good reference for you to think about this issue. Because what I'm going to tell you maybe it's hard to know from the Indian media. Okay, finally, so what is my conclusion about this video? I'm going to say China and India were both the greatest developing country in this world, and we both have such a long history and so rich tradition. We should be influential in this world at the same time, not just fight. If we fight, maybe we both lose. Think about this. The war between China and India in 1962 actually is totally just a mistake. If we fully know about each other, this problem could be avoided. This war should never happen if we really know about each other. And this is the greatest failure for both of us because we are so close, but we are also so strange to each other. So, what I'm going to say is that maybe you still disagree with what I'm going to say, but I want you to agree with one thing. This is, we should know about each other. Because since if we know about each other, we can always maximum our common benefits. This is keeping the peace. But the saying is very pitiful right now. You will see from no matter the Indian media and the Chinese media, we both have the bias against with each other. In the Indian media, the China is so backward and everything is about we are dictatorship of a country and people are stupid and we don't have any free thinking. And look at me, I'm a kind of people, I'm a typical Chinese, but I'm also can break my cultural barriers and my stereotype and to talk with you. Am I stupid? So people, we all, of course, we have different system and different culture, but people are all different. This is something you could not stereotype. And also from in the Chinese media's perspective, and in their narratives, the India is also very stupid and silly and backward and dirty. This is something I don't want to. I feel disgusting about them because I don't believe this is the whole truth of the India. India must have the developed part. But just our media don't want to tell the people, or maybe they just don't know. And this is the value of this video. We should know about each other, and this could maximum our benefits to pursue the peace. And the peace is always the most important resource for both of us to develop our country, to achieve a better life out of our countries. Okay, this is Winston. And welcome you subscribing my video, and you will see more information about India and know deep knowledge about China. Bye.